Okay, today just we are going to discuss about something which is the projections of shapes and the projections. So we know that we are seeing everything lit by the sunlight, the shapes of things outside. So these shapes are, for example, the corner of a table. So does it extend? Does it end there, or does it extend to the invisible areas? Is one question. Does it stop there, or do we do? Does it stop where we see things? The extension. Thing is, it has an invisible extension. For example, if we draw a line on a piece of paper, what we are seeing is basically its line is a, and maybe an arrow mark also is there. So line is there in the paper, but does it stop there? That's the question. So it has a projection. There's a projection for every shapes. Why every shapes? Because shapeless things. There are no shapeless things as of we are seeing in the broad sunlight, but underneath there is a chaos. For example, the atoms and all those things are not orderly shaped. For example, a metal piece, compare it to with a sculpture or a knife or a vessel or a kitchen utensil, which is made out of that. So a piece of metal doesn't have a shape as when we compare it with the knife or a piece of the vessel or something artistic or something like that. So what does mean it is compared to that, it is shapeless, but still it has a shape. But underneath the atoms are the molecules and all those things are actually uh, arranged in a shapeless manner. But we know that it has also shape. If we break a metal piece, it also has a shape. So everything has a shape that we see here. But compared to more better shapes, like an artistic thing, a piece of scrap iron does not have a shape at all. But when we take that only, the metal scrap of iron, it has a shape. So what is shapelessness compared to this scrap of metal? Is when it is liberated as the energy, like E equal to mc square, the atom bomb or something, energy got exploded out of that, then it gets ultimate shapelessness. So at least in the visible form, everything, the elements are shaped in a kind of shape. But compared to an artistic thing or a useful utensil or a vessel, it does not have a shape at all. So this is shape and shapelessness. So what is shapelessness? What is shape actually? Shape is an order of arranging things is called shape. For example, a group of children in a ground playing there and here and running here. This is like this zigzag motion. They do not have a shape. But when the teacher comes and fall in threes, fall in parade, fall in lines, then they come into shape. So shape is an order. So order, we call it as ultimately shape. Order it very beautifully so that we see it from outside and see it as it has a shape. So when God created the universe in the first Genesis, first chapter, and we see that earth was void. Earth was void and it did not have a shape, shapeless, void and shapeless. So there was a void. So void is called shapelessness. Void also we can refer to as shapelessness. But then God created everything shapes. So what is the material he used for that? It's already there. It was already there in the void. But God created them in the shapes actually. So shapelessness and shapes is called. Shapes are there. So then we have chaos or the void, and then we have shape. So shape is that we see here in this world by the broad sunlight or any light. And then we have a projection of the shapes. Projection of the shapes. This projection, when we look at the edge of a table, as we already have seen, edge of a table, then it is ending there from our view, it's ending there. But does it end there? No, it is projecting something. For example, if we put an arrow from somewhere, Kottayam to Trivandrum, then we put it as a arrow mark and showing that this direction is Trivandrum. So this arrow mark is basically a shape. But is it the shape that is the meaning of that? No, it has a projection. It has a projection which is denoting that if you go to this direction, you will reach Trivandrum. So like that, everything has projections. Everything has projections which will be, so when the person is reaching Trivandrum, he is attaining the perfection or the accomplishment or completion of this arrow mark. That is the arrow mark. When he reaches Trivandrum only, then he attains the real meaning of the arrow mark. Otherwise, it's just a line, it's just paint. In material wise, we can say it's a line in a higher perspective. It is a piece, so it is a some paint on another paint, background paint. That's all, a line. So there are multiple layers of things that we do. For example, we write something on a piece of paper. So paper is we know that ultimately paper is a material which is created from the pulp or from the plants and all. And the ink, we know it is created from some chemicals and all. And the pen and the refill and all, we use it also has some kind of material inside that. So when we check that, when we take that, we can say it is a piece of pulp, paper, and so on. So material wise, chemically we can analyze that. But when it is created into shapes, then we say that it's a pen. It's a piece of paper. Then we take it as and write something. Then this chemical, this ink chemical is spreading there in the paper. That is the ultimate base level. So that means pulp, some paint, some chemical on the pulp paper is the base level. But then we take from the some more higher perspective, then we see it is creating some shapes in the paper. Then we recognize them as letters. Oh, they are letters. Some alphabets are there. So what alphabet? Because we already have studied those alphabets. Then you understand this is English, or this is Malayalam, or this is Hindi, or this is Sanskrit, this is French, German. We recognize the language. Then what happens, we start to connect these alphabets. Alphabets primarily we identify in a language. Then we connect it with syntax connectors. So that becomes a word. So not syntax connectors, between the word, the connectors are there. And then we create a word. For example, today I will go to the market, or today I will go to see my friend. So today is a word. So today we recognize it. I will recognize it. Will, and all these words first we recognize from the alphabets, and then we connect these words with syntax parameters. Today I will go to. So if it is not correct, for example, today for primarily it is today, if the spelling is not correct, because T-O-D-A-Y is today. So if we do not like T-A-D-A-Y, it becomes some other word. So first of all, there is a connecting syntax is there inside the word, intra word. Then we have the inter word connectors. Today I will go. Today, if I say that today I did go, that is not correct. I did go is correct. Okay, sorry. Today I something that today I jump go. When we say what is this? Today I jump go. What is the word, the sentence or the sentence? So again the connectors are coming in between the words to form it's a meaningful sentence. But still the meaning is far away from that. Meaning is far from it, but we say that as a word. So we can say that today I will go to the moon. So So that's a meaningful sentence. But when we take the higher level, then it's an absurd thing. How can I go to moon? How can one person move? Of course, he can go to moon if it's an astronaut. As an ordinary person, how can we go to moon? So it doesn't have, meaningfully, that's absurd. This is fiction, that's a fantasy actually. Fantasies are not real. So that is, higher level is not making any sense compared to my status of life. And I'm an ordinary and people. Move to moon, that's not possible. There is absurdity. The higher level meaning, but still the sentence is correct. Today I will go to moon. Sentence is correct, and the syntax is correct, the word is correct, vocabulary is correct, letters, shape is correct. Everything is correct, but meaning does not have it. And then we take the subtext from the text. That is reading between the lines. That also is it. Then the projection, there. So multiple layers of projection is coming from the sentences connecting the words. Like that, the shape also has the multiple layers of meaning. It has a projection. It has projections. This projection, only when we attain these projections, then we say that, this is satisfied. This complete accomplishment has been happened. Upon we attain the accomplishment of the shapes. So, for example, Bible sentence is man does not live only by bread alone. Man does not live by bread alone. That's Jesus told us. Our Lord Jesus Christ told that. So, what is the meaning of that? Is it has a higher meaning? So what is it? It's not only, so a normal person or a not that thinking person can say that man can eat rice also. Man can eat pulses and rice and beans and anything he can eat. Fruits, bread. Why he should have bread alone? He can have fruits. Is that a meaning? No. So again, it goes to another level of meaning. So that means that meaning itself is very, very, very profound in terms of people who think about that. The capacity decides the level of thought that's coming from the sentence. It's a very profound sentence. Profound. So like that, everything has projections. Everything has projections. Projection is always leading us to the accomplishment of things or the truth about that. The truth. For example, as we told, the arrow mark denotes that the direction this goes to Trivandrum. So somebody is telling that, okay, we reached Trivandrum. See the line, that is Trivandrum. Does it make any sense? No. Sense is only when the projection is attained, the person or the accomplishment is achieved. Has been achieved by that. So that is a projection of shapes. So underneath there's a substance calling out for chaos. That means if we put it into any material, into E equal to mc square, huge energy is created. Energy is chaotic. Energy is chaotic because it's for example, nuclear energy. And if it's not regulated, then what happens is it is uncontrollably destroys. For example, atom Hiroshima, Nagasaki, and uncontrolled explosion or the uncontrolled behavior happened in the Chernobyl in Russia and all. So still the effects are there. Because energy should be controlled. Energy should be controlled, otherwise regulated. Otherwise, it is chaotic in nature. Actually, it's chaotic in nature. So it should be controlled, it's regulated, it should be sophisticated in some kind of, through some kind of measures and regulations. Otherwise, it is chaotic in nature. It's chaotic, it destroys things, destroys everything, it destroys things. So chaos, energy is energy is chaotic, it is underneath the things that Einstein proved that he could himself from everything. When it is converted, ultimately energy has been released from the bonds they created, but stability is lost. Stability is lost, but energy has been created. So I think that's underneath, it is there. But above that, what happens is the shapes comes in the orderly form, and from the shapes the beauty is created. Only from the order the shape is created. Shape from the shapes, beauty is created. Beauty is created in everything, not only in the physical shape of a sculpture or something, but from the letters we write. If it is a very beautiful writing, so how beautiful writing it is! Wow, literature, how beautiful poem! Not only shapes, everything, and painting, and a person's appearance. Everything has a beauty inside when it is properly have a shape or order. Shape is coming from order, and this shape has a projection. This projection is not here actually, but it has a metaphysical relevance which goes beyond the physical relevance to meet the perfectness of their mission in the eternity. In the eternity, it is the realm beyond time and space. It is a realm beyond time and space, because the meaning of things is always beyond time and space. It's altogether another topic. It's a big topic, profound topic altogether. But at least for now, we have a basic idea about the shapes, order, orderlessness, chaos, energy, chaos, orderlessness, and order, shapes, and its projections. Projections is calling out for the higher meaning or the actual meaning of everything, every creation. So I will talk about it later. And today, I wish you all the very best for everybody. Have a nice day. May God bless all. Thanks very much.